What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Charlie coming at y'all with another video. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a homemade Louisiana Crunch Cake from scratch. Now, I don't really know much about the history of the Louisiana Crunch Cake. I did a lot of research on it, couldn't find anything. But there's this company called Etamans, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, that makes this Louisiana Crunch Cake, and that's all I really know about it. This is my version of the Louisiana Crunch Cake. All this is a yellow butter cake, and it has a coconut pecan crust on the outside, and then we top it with a butter vanilla coconut almond icing, which we put in the microwave for a couple of seconds just to get it nice and hot, so that way when we pour it on top, it'll harden. Okay. This recipe calls for about 15 to 20 individual servings of Louisiana Crunch Cake. Not only is it moist, full of flavor, and it has a nice crunchy outside, but it's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your homemade Louisiana Crunch Cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You will need some all-purpose flour or cake flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, unsalted butter at room temperature, eggs at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, sour cream at room temperature, canola oil, sweetened or unsweetened flaked coconut, pecan halves, and for your flavorings you will need some vanilla extract, butter extract, coconut extract, and since I'm from New Orleans, you will need some almond extract. You will also need some confectioner sugar and buttercup yellow gel paste food coloring. To bake your Louisiana Crunch Cake, you will need some Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray, and I'm not sure what brand this is, but you will need a 15 cup in capacity tube pan. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. In our bowl with our mesh strainer, we're going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour or cake flour, and to that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to sift all the ingredients into a medium-sized bowl, just as you see here. Take your hand and break down some of those lumps in there. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and give this a quick stir. And you want to make sure you stir this really well to make sure all those ingredients are incorporated. Alright. Now let's get started with our wet ingredients. In a separate medium-sized bowl, we're going to add 2/3 cup of whole milk at room temperature. Alright, and to that we're going to add 2/3 cup of sour cream at room temperature. Let's get a spatula to get that in there. Alright. And to that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of butter extract, 1 teaspoon of coconut extract, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of buttercup yellow gel paste food coloring. Just shake that to get that in there. Alright. Now we're going to take our whisk and we're just going to stir all the ingredients together until combined. You're going to set this on the side as we're going to alternate this with our cake flour and all-purpose flour mixture later. Alright. Now in a food processor we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of pecan halves. Now place a lid on top of that. Now we're going to blend this for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. You want to make sure those pecans are nice and blended till coarse crumbs like how you see here. Alright. Now we've transferred our coarse crumb pecans into a medium-sized bowl. Now we're going to add 1/2 cup of our sweetened or unsweetened flaked coconut. And we're just going to give that a quick stir, and we're going to use this as our crust for our cake. So you want to set this on the side for later. Alright. Now let's get started on our batter. In our stand mixer with a paddle attachment, we're going to add 3 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature. And to that we're going to add 3 tablespoons of canola oil. Add that in there. And 2 2/3 cups of sugar. Now we're going to start our mixer on a medium-low speed just to get that butter, canola oil, and sugar incorporated. Now we're going to go ahead and turn our mixer up to the highest setting, and we're going to mix this on high speed for 6 minutes. Now at some point during those 6 minutes, you're going to go ahead and stop your mixer, and you're going to scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now we're working with our mixer here just to make sure that everything is incorporated, alright? Now we're going to continue mixing that in. Now we're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl again. Now we're going to start our mixer on a medium speed, and we're going to add 5 large eggs in at room temperature, one at a time. Now we're going to add our first egg in. We're going to mix that until it's incorporated. Now we're going to add the second egg in there. Now we're going to mix that until it's incorporated. Now let's add the third egg in. We're going to mix that until it's incorporated. Now at this point we're going to stop our mixer, and we're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl. Make sure you get at the bottom too as well. Now we're going to start our mixer again on a medium speed. Let's add the fourth egg in there. Now we're going to mix that until it's incorporated. Now for the last egg, the fifth egg, right on in there. And we're going to mix that until it's incorporated. Now you want to be careful once you add the eggs in here. Do not over mix this, alright? Alright. Now we're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl. Add 1 cup of our all-purpose or cake flour mixture right on in there. And to that we're going to add 2/3 cup of our milk and sour cream mixture. Now we're going to mix this on a medium-low speed until combined. Now we're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl again. Now we're going to add 1 cup of our all-purpose or cake flour mixture. And to that we're going to add 2/3 cup of our milk and sour cream mixture. Now we're going to mix this on a medium-low speed until combined. You want to be careful not to overmix this, alright? Just mix it until it's incorporated. Now we're going to scrape down the sides of our bowl again. Now we're going to add 1 cup of our all-purpose flour or cake flour mixture. And to that we're going to add 1/4 cup of our milk and sour cream mixture. Now you want to make sure you use a spatula to get all of that in there, alright? Now we're going to mix this on a medium-low speed until combined. Again, be careful not to overmix it, alright? Alright. Scrape down the sides of your bowl, and our butter cake batter is now ready. It's looking good. Now we're going to go ahead and spray our tube pan with Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. You want to make sure that you spray a good amount onto the bottom and the sides, alright? Now we're going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees. Alright, here we have our coconut pecan mixture. We're just going to sprinkle the coconut pecan mixture onto the bottom of the tube pan. Be careful not to use too much of it, because we need to add some to the sides as well, okay? Now you're going to do this the best way you can, alright? Now we're adding a small amount onto the middle of the tube pan as well. Just a little bit, not too much, okay? Now we're adding some onto the sides as well. Just want a thin coating, don't put too much. If you have a little bit left over, you can add just a little bit more onto the bottom and the sides as well, alright, if you want a thicker coating. And there we have it. It's ready to go. Now we're going to carefully add our butter cake batter into our tube pan. Just add it in there very carefully. Careful not to hit the sides or anything like that. Just drop the batter right into the pan. Just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and take a back of a spoon, and we're just going to spread that butter cake batter around our tube pan as evenly as possible. Now to make the batter more even, you're going to shake your pan slightly, alright? And you also want to tap the bottom with your hand, or you can tap it slightly onto your table as well, okay? And that'll help. Now let's bake this. We're going to place this into a preheated 325 degree oven, and we're going to bake this for 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is the before picture. Looks pretty good. And here is the after picture. Nice risen, nice golden brown. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our Louisiana Crunch Cake out of the oven after baking on 325 degrees for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now, a toothpick inserted into the cake should come out clean. Now you're going to let this cool for about 6 to 8 hours. As for me, I'm a patient guy, so I'm going to let this cool off overnight. Okay? I'll let my cake cool off overnight, of course. And now here I have a pan underneath it as well. And we have a cooling rack. We're going to flip the cake over onto the cooling rack. Make sure that pan is underneath there too, alright? And this is how it looks when we're done. As you can see, that's a nice golden brown. Now let's begin our icing. Okay? In a small bowl, we're going to add 1 1/2 cups of confectioner sugar. And to that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Make sure you get that on in there, alright? 4 tablespoons of warm whole milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/2 teaspoon of butter extract, a 1/2 teaspoon of coconut extract, and 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Now we're going to take our whisk and we're just going to stir this until that icing is creamy and smooth with no visible lumps, like how you see here. Look at that. Nice, beautiful, and creamy. Now we're going to place this into our microwave on high for 1 minute. Alright, it's been about 1 minute now. Now we're going to go ahead and take our whisk and we're just going to give this one final quick stir. Make sure it's combined. Now I'm going to let you know that your icing will be pretty thin. That is normal, okay? That's exactly what we're looking for. Now for the fun part. We're going to go ahead and take that icing and we're going to pour it directly on top of our cake. Just go all around the cake, the whole thing, just dump the whole thing on top. And what's going to happen is that icing is going to free fall to the sides and everything. You see how it's doing right now? Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for right there, alright? Make sure you use all the ice and just pour the whole thing on there. And also to help, just take a little spatula and you could just glide the icing onto the sides and everything. Just be very careful not to go too far with it and make a mess like how I'm about doing right now. Do it the best way you can, alright? Now we're going to let the icing set for about 15 to 30 minutes before serving. That should be enough time for it to harden. Now, who wants a slice? I'm going to go ahead and cut you a slice. I'm going to try to use a different knife. Made a little mess. Don't worry, I'll clean it up. And look at that, I cut 2 slices. One for me and one for you. Wow, look at how beautiful that looks. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Homemade Louisiana Crunch Cake, made from scratch by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. You can also check out this recipe, as well as all of my other recipes. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Look at that. It's really good. The cake has a nice light crunch on the outside, not a hard crunch like you're biting into candy. That's not what this is. With the combination of the toasted pecans, coconut, and that frosting, gives it a nice light crunch. And then you have the flavor of the cake itself, which is a butter cake, and with the addition of the coconut and the almond, gives it a nice, wonderful flavor. It's also soft and moist as well. Overall, it's a fantastic cake. So give it a try. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until next time, have a good one. Peace.